Hello, good day. We are starting today's class. Today's class is going to be based on the writing skill. We are going to be seeing a very interesting topic in order for us to cover this skill. But first of all, let me introduce my student. She is Xiomara Rodriguez. How are you, Xiomara?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Good. So we have our student right here. We can only have one student for today's class, but we will try to deliver this class in the best professional way. In this case, I'm going to be presenting a PPT document that I have created in order for us to cover this class. I'm going to start presenting it. And please, Angela, let me know if you are able to see it. Can you see it?
Yes, yes, I do.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay. So this is based, as I said, on the writing skill. And right now we will start covering this part. Let's go to the next one. We have created a content, and this is the topic that we are going to be focusing on this class. And this is writing a professional email. As we mentioned that the skill is writing, so we will be covering some important factors about the importance of knowing how to properly structure or how to properly write a professional email. A professional email is not just related for work purposes. It can be for any other purpose, and it says professional because it is based on the fact that you are using the correct structure, correct punctuation, the correct grammar. That's why it's going to be professional. Uh, on the next one, we have the objective for this class. It is a clear objective that we have tried to establish for today's class, and this is the following. At the end of this class, the students will be able to elaborate a professional email for different purposes. So as I was saying, this is what we want to achieve by the end of the class. That you guys as a student, at the end of the class, you can be able to easily elaborate an email either for work purposes, for any other purposes, if you want to send an email telling something to a friend, to a co-worker, to a classmate, to anyone, right? As long as you are writing it professionally, you are going in the correct path. So this is our objective. And on the next slide, we have the parts of an email. Animal has different parts, but these ones are the most important ones and also like the most common ones that we need to cover whenever we are writing an email. So the first part that we have is the subject of the email. This is very important whenever we are sending an email. Why? Because the subject of the email is like the topic. The subject, it tells you what the email is about and what the conversation is going to be about. That is why we need to set a clear subject whenever we are sending an email, because I mean, this is going to give you like an idea about what the email is going to be referred to. We can use different subjects depending on the occasion, depending on the situation, and depending on the information that is going to be included in the email. We can, for example, right, if you are, let's say, sending an email about a specific homework, you can put in the subject, as an example, a homework about the environment, ninth grade, section 2. Just an idea, right? So whenever the receiver gets that email, they will be able to notice what the email is about, and they will be able to identify. For example, if they have different folders in or on his email box, he can just go ahead and drag that email from one box to another in order to have it like properly ordered. That's regarding the subject. Then we have the greeting. The greeting is basically how you begin that email. And this, believe it or not, it tells a lot how professional you are. And the good thing is that this it gives you the opportunity to personalize your emails. Give me one moment. It gives you the opportunity to personalize your email. Why? Because by personalizing the greeting, you avoid, well, it is an email, but we can say that we can avoid sounding very robotic, because if you are using the same greeting for all of your emails, like always saying just hello, hi, good day, good morning, good afternoon, I mean, that might be kind of robotic. It is good to use it, but not all the time. When I say personalizing your greeting in the email, is including the receiver's name. So you as a sender, it is more recommended that you use the receiver's name in the greeting. As an example, you can say something like, good morning, Mr. Morales. Good day, Ms. Rodriguez. Hello, Mr. John's, as an example, right? So whenever you include the receiver's name on the email, that will make it more personal. And that will help you a lot in order for you to establish like a better conversation, a more personalized communication, but still within the lines of being a professional email. That's talking about the greeting. Now, if we move on to the other part, which is probably the most extensive one, which is the body of the email. So the body of the email is where you include the whole information, right? It's where you write all the information that you want to share with the other person or with the other persons, because there might be more than one receiver. So in the body of the email is where you include all the information, all the pertinent information about that email. But this is like the most important one, talking about being careful with the structure that we use, because we need to use the correct grammar structure. We need to be careful whenever we are using punctuation, like commas, when to use a period, if you're going to use parentheses, if you're going to use square brackets or any other type of punctuation. We need to be very careful with that. And also, you need to be very careful with the sequence of the body of the email, because you need to write it down in a way that the email it makes sense. You have to avoid like going backwards, right? So you need to do it in a very professional way, just or always keeping the same order. And something that I recommend you to do whenever you are writing a professional email is that you can always have the habit of editing the email. Always it's important to make a review of your email before sending it, because even though if you are like in a rush that you want to do it very quick, you need to always review all the information that is in there. So once you finish typing or writing your email, it is recommendable or advisable in order for you to go and review the email just to make sure that you have included all the information that you wanted, to make sure that you are not having any grammar mistakes, to make sure that you are not avoiding something important that it must be included in the email. And if it is just an email that you're going to be sending to a friend as well, I mean, even though if it is a friend, if it is someone close to you, it is important to have that habit of writing a professional email, so you are always going to be looking good in the emails area. So that's regarding the body of the email. As I said, it is advisable to give the opportunity to edit your email, to give feedback to yourself, because whenever you read it, you will encounter a grammar mistake, for example, and you will say, well, I mean, this is not correct. I should do it in this way. So that's why it is very important. Now we have the last part, let's say, of the email, which is the email closing. This is how you end up your email. And the email closing, it is, let's say, divided into stages. One is about offering further assistance. What is that about? So offering further assistance means that after the body of the email, you can say something like, please let me know if you have any questions. Uh, I will look forward for your reply, or I will look forward for hearing from you. Let me know if you have any concerns, or please call me at, and you give a phone number, or please reply to, and you give that email address, in case that you don't want to, or in case that you don't want the person to reply directly to your email, instead to reply to another or forward it to another email, you can add that there. And as well, for example, to say something like, thank you, uh, and then your name, right? So it is important that you always include your name in the email, just to make it more professional. Thank you, then your name, or you can say something like, best regards, kind regards, sincerely, and then put your name. So that's the way how we will be being, or how we're going to be capable of structuring a professional email, covering these parts that I have already mentioned here. And I mean, it's not just about seeing these parts and that's it. I want to give you an example, right? As I said, a professional email is not just for work-related purposes. It can be a professional email related to your studies, sending to a friend, to a family member. So this is an example of an email and how it must be, let's say, structured, right? So are you able to see it, Sumar? I'm sorry, I think that you have your microphone turned off. Do you see it?
Excuse me, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this one, if we can see here, it has the subject, right? And in the subject, it says homework about Salvadoran history. So this is an email sent from a student to the teacher. Whenever the teacher receives this email, the teacher will, I mean, definitely know that this is about a homework that he or she assigned to his student because it specifically says homework about Salvadorian history. So now we can see that there we have a clear subject which represents the topic of the email or the main idea of the email. Then we have the greeting. If you can see, it is personalized because it says, hello, Mr. Perez. So it is using the receiver's name or last name, let's say, either or is fine, but it is personalized in the email. You can use just hello, good day, good morning, but I recommend to do it like more personalized. So you can start in a way building rapport with the other person, even though if you are just writing an email, it's not like a live conversation, but it is building rapport. Then we have the body of the email. This is just a short body of the email, let's say, because it's just for you to have an idea, for you to see this example, and the body of the email, I am not sure if you can read it, Angela. Can you help me reading it? Just the body where it says please until sections.
Please find my homework in please find my homework in regard to the summary of Salvadorian history. Ask for your review. This activity includes 20 pages and is formed by two different sections.
Thank you very much. Okay, so as we just listened to Xiomara, the body of the email, it specifies as well, right? And it's even more clear about what this email is about. It is telling to the teacher that the homework is here, it is attached to the email, and this activity that the student is delivering is basically a summary of Salvadorian history. And as you can see, it is very important because it is also mentioning that this activity includes 20 pages and it is formed by two different sections. So the student knows what sections are and probably the teacher also knows what sections are. But I mean, I am saying this because it is very important to be clear in our emails because that will make it better, right? Then we have, as part of the closing for, offering further assistance, it says, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. So we are in a way offering further assistance because we are letting the receiver know that if he or she has any doubts, questions, concerns, or something that is not clear, the receiver can go ahead and contact the sender again and say something like, hey, you're missing this, or I'm not getting this part. But I mean, as long as we offer further assistance, we are okay. And that is part of writing a professional email. And then the second part of the closing, it says best regards. And then the name of the sender, right? That in this case, the sender was Charles Jones Hughes. So best regards, you can also use, as I mentioned before, kind regards, thank you sincerely. As long as you use that, and next you use your name. So this is the example of the email. Do you have any questions regarding this example, Samara?
No question.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so in order for us to put this into practice, I will assign an activity, a homework. I mean, you don't need to do it right now. You have time to send it to me by, later today in order for you to complete this homework. And it consists of the following. It is to elaborate an email. So you Xiomara will need to elaborate an email containing the parts of the email seen in class. The email needs to be elaborated for the following. And I am going to give you a topic. This is not a word-related topic. This is just a general topic, right? But it is in order for you to put in practice your writing skill and also your, to put into practice all the information that we have seen today. And it says that you need to send the activity in a Word document to, and there is my email address, right? That you will need to send it to in order for me to download that Word document and evaluate it. The email, it is going to be about what you did in Mother's Day, because it's a recent holiday. And I think that it is a very interesting topic where you will have a lot of information to share and you can put into practice your grammar, punctuations, all that requirements, let's say, in order for us to have a professional email. So it's going to be an email regarding what you did on Mother's Day, and please send it to the email that I am sharing there, and I will be receiving it later today. That will be all for today's class. Thank you for joining to the class. Thank you for taking the time and being here. I'm not sure if you have any questions before we go.
No, no questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, well, that's all, and thank you for joining, and you have a wonderful day.